All right, everybody, welcome to Take Action Thursday. We have a great night, full action packed. If you have a chance, go ahead and text everybody, let them know to go ahead and jump on. Really excited. You know, Thursday nights is where we get to take action. We get some amazing leaders that get to share their insights, their tips, their trick, their knowledge, and bring value to all of us here. So I'm excited. I get to introduce to you tonight our guest speaker. I've got to know him for over the past couple years, and I've really grown to love him. I've gotten to be privileged to listen to some of his training, some of the things that he's been able to share with us. So I'm real excited to get to learn from him tonight and see what kind of value, tips, and tricks that he's going to share with us. So without any further ado, I'd love to introduce you to our amazing Damien. Are you there, Damien?
I'm here, Judy. Thank you very much. And
you're
thank
welcome.
you all for being here tonight. I really appreciate you being here, taking the time out of your night to invest into yourself, your business, your family. I just wanted to say up front, I'm truly grateful for the opportunity to be here. You know, I know Judy edified me, and I really appreciate that. But in this company, I have not lived up to my personal potential. And I think a lot of us might need to forgive ourselves for that, because your past success, in my opinion, is great, but your next work has to be your best work. And to this point, I've been going all in, and I've said it several times, and I just recently truly got clear on what I want and what I'm looking to create. And I can honestly tell you guys that myself personally, I haven't performed up to my potential. But I'm here to tell you guys that the line was drawn in the sand recently. And I know what my potential is. It actually kind of scares me sometimes. But I want to pour into you guys tonight some things that I've learned. I was racking my brain on what could I possibly give a value that maybe someone else hasn't talked about. And I went back to the trainings that I think that when I got these trainings is when I got network marketing. So there's three topics that we're going to talk about here tonight. Number one is going to be the ladder of escalation. Number two is going to be how to move someone through the ladder of escalation. And number three is going to be third party. So I'm going to move really quickly through this. By the way, if you guys don't mind, you know, I like to be interactive here. You know, I like reading the comments. So feel free to go ahead and engage with me through the comments. Again, truly grateful to be here. Let's get started. So ladder of escalation, you know, Chris and Judy and pretty much this entire team, and I'm not sure what your team does, but I'm pretty sure that just about everybody taps into the 4 steps, all right? And if it's not the 4 steps, whatever it is that your upline has been teaching you to build this business, let's visualize that for a second. For me, I've been taught the 4 steps. Number one, step 1, drink coffee, be happy. Step 2 is to share your story. Step 3 is to share a tool, and step 4 is to connect. But where I find there is a disconnect in the steps is moving someone effortlessly from step to step to step to step, where you do not have to chase anyone. You know, at the end of the day, guys, you got to realize what we have here. In network marketing, we are people that solve problems, and there are not many people in the world that solve problems like we do. So there are a lot of people with a lot of problems and very few people solving problems. So give yourself a pat on the back for being the person who took the dive into this wonderful industry that has truly changed my life in every aspect, and go out there and bless someone with this opportunity, because you could potentially find a me or a Judy or a Chris or somebody, whoever it is that you're working with. You just never know who that person is. So let's get back to the 4 steps. So I think when you're moving someone from step to step to step, there's an art to that, okay? There's an art to that. And all the ladder of escalation to me is the sales process. And the first thing that you have to understand is that no one is going to say yes. I mean, 1 in 100 might say yes on the first or second exposure. In sales, and yes, this is sales, we do sell here. You know, it takes 5 to 7, sometimes 8, 9, 10 exposures. So again, if you're not reaching that level on the ladder to where you can actually get someone to a place where they can make a decision, then really you're selling yourself short. So let's talk about that for a quick second. How do you do that? How do you do that effortlessly? Well, I'm going to teach you guys a little technique here that I learned in a book called Go Pro. If you don't know what Go Pro is, it should be the first book that you've ever read in network marketing about network marketing. Actually, there was a second book I read. First book was the first book was Your First Year in Network Marketing by Mark Yarnell. Truly an amazing book, guys. It sets your expectations. One of the big things in network marketing I think that people do wrong, they set the wrong expectations. They tell their friends they're going to come out here and make hundreds of thousands of dollars per month in less than a year. You know, it just doesn't happen. So we got to set the right expectations. That book teaches you all about that. Go Pro by Eric Worre, one of the top trainers in our industry, taught me what I'm getting ready to teach you next. So, you know, all we do is we learn things and we pass them down, right? You can also find the book on YouTube. There's also a book, the audio book version is on YouTube, but it's called Go Pro by Eric Worre. So let's talk about if I would you. If I would you, when I heard this, you know, there's 4 revenue producing activities in network marketing, and one of them is inviting, on how to invite someone to take a look at your product, service, come to your Zoom, try your sample, look at your video, whatever that is. So if I would you, think about this for a second. If I would you. So if I blank, would you blank? If I gave you a sample, would you try it? If I gave you a link, would you watch it? If I invited you to an invitation-only Zoom, would you like to hop on? So you can put anything in those blanks right there. That's not the hard part. The hard part is the next few steps right here. And it's really not hard. It's only, I think there's a little bit of a drop of the ball here and a little bit of a disconnect. So when someone says, yes, I'll watch it, let's just go with the yes first. They gave you a yes. They said that they would watch it. They'd try your sample. They'd hop on your Zoom. How do we ensure that they're actually going to do that, right? That's the key part right there. How do we ensure that they're going to hold true to their word? So the second part is, so when could you try my sample? Or when could you watch my 3-minute video? Now, at that point in time, what we're looking for is a commitment, okay? If they say yes, that's a commitment. And what we're looking to get here is a couple small commitments from them, because one commitment just, it really isn't good enough. It's kind of like a surface level commitment, right? The second commitment that we're looking for, so they say, okay, if I sent you a sample, would you try it for me and give me some feedback? Yeah, okay, great. So if I send it today, it'll probably take 3-4 days to get there. If I, you know, contacted you back in 4 days from now, you will have tried the sample, right? And then they're just going to say yes again. So that's 2 yeses you got right there, okay? Now, the next part is, after you've gotten a couple yeses, and we're going to do the no part, or the maybe part, or the try part here in just a quick second to show you guys how to combat that stuff. But let's say after the second yes, yeah, I'll try the sample. Okay, great. When, you know, it takes about 3-4 days to get there, so I'll call you in 4 days. You'll have tried it by then, right? Yeah, okay, great. So then the next part is, so you need to make sure they know you're going to contact them. Set the appointment, okay? Set the appointment. If it's an appointment and I know that you're going to be calling me and expecting me to do something, the chances of me doing it are pretty high, actually. The chances of me doing it are pretty high. So let's just say it was a video. If I sent you a 3-minute video, could you go watch it right now? Yeah, I could watch it right now. So if I called you back and then you repeat yourself, okay? So if I called you back in 4 minutes, you'll have watched that 3-minute video, right? Yeah, I'll have watched it. Okay, great. Is this the best cell phone number to reach you at? Now, sometimes people might be at work. They might be at, you know, wherever. I always like to say, if I'm talking to them on the phone, is this the best cell phone number to reach you at? Because then there's no luck or guesswork. They know exactly that you're calling them back. Hey, just go watch that 3-minute video real quick. I'll call you back in 4 minutes. Right? So we got a yes. We confirmed that yes. Then what we did after that is we set the appointment, and they knew that I was calling them back. There was no thinking about anything. It was a Judy, can you mute the lines if you don't mind? There's a lot of feedback right now. Or do I have the controls? Judy, could you guys mute yourselves if you don't mind? Thanks. All right, so let's go to the other side of the coin. Let's just go, somebody says, how many of you with a raise of a hand have been told by somebody that they would try to get on that Zoom, or they would maybe or might get on that Zoom, right? This is where you have to realize what we have here. and you have to understand you have to have some posture. Okay, you have to have some posture. Sometimes we offer things too freely to people. It's too accessible, and because it's so accessible, then then it's not really special. If you make it special and you put some value to it and you have some posture, you're going to have a much higher show rate. I rarely have anybody that doesn't show up for anything because I run these steps. So let's go about, let's say we were inviting somebody onto a Zoom. So Damien, or let's just say Judy. Hey, Judy, could you get on that? I have a Zoom tonight. If I was, we've already went through the first couple steps. If I invited you to an invitation-only Zoom tonight with some of my business partners, just going to be sharing some testimonials about this awesome coffee we've been talking about. Could you hop on tonight and listen to these testimonials? Or would you hop on tonight to listen to these testimonials? I'll try, or maybe I might. Well, that, just understand, that means no. Okay, that means they're not going to be there. So what I do at that point is I take it away from them. And what I do at that point is say, Judy, it's okay for you to say no. It really doesn't matter to me. I just thought it was something of huge value. When we talked, you said you were dealing with X, Y, Z. And if you remember, I tagged you in some posts, and I just thought it was something of value that might help you out a lot. If you can't be there, no big deal whatsoever. It's not a big deal. So then when you take it back a little bit, then chances are they're going to go, it's no big deal. You don't care if I'm not going to be there. When you take it back from someone, it's just a psychological thing. They want what they can't have. But again, you got to be very conscious enough to know here that sometimes you got to pull back a little bit, because we're in a major mental health problem in this world right now. And our product really helps a lot of people. And if you truly know that, then you understand what it is we're sitting on here. And if you don't know that, just go inside of our team community page and go read the testimonials. There's testimonial after testimonial after testimonial of what this product's doing for people and what it's done for my personal mental health. It's just throughout this whole COVID situation, I can promise you there are people that need this. They need this. And you got to know with absolute certainty that you're adding value to them, that you're not trying to sell them, you're trying to impact them. Okay. Now let's just go over this from start to finish again with the invitation to a Zoom. So I know a lot of people we invite to Zooms, right? So let's say I was talking to Judy again. Call Judy up, and remember we've already talked. I've probably already maybe planted a seed with her. So I would say, hey Judy, listen, tonight at around 8 o'clock, I have an invitation-only Zoom that I'd like to invite you to. If I was able to get you on tonight. If I was able to get you on tonight. What does if imply? If implies I may not be able to get you on. If I can get you on tonight, would you like one of my spots? Or would you like to be there? Would you like to listen in? Would you like to hear the testimonials? Whatever you say at that point in time. So when you do that, when you say if, you're not just giving it away to them. The only reason you're going to give it away to them is if they commit. If they give you a yes, they get the link. If they give you a maybe or a try, they never get the link, ever. You have to pull it back at that point in time, and you have to then posture up and say, listen, it's okay. This is not for everyone. It just depends on what you're doing at this point. If you're prospecting them on the business, if you're just offering them the product, there's different ways to go about this. But if it's about the product, I just wanted to invite her to come hear some testimonials. Hey, it's no big deal whatsoever. Now, don't tell them you got one every single day of the week either. If there's one every single day of the week, then there's nothing special about them being there tonight. So don't lie, but don't divulge all the information. Don't say, oh, you know what? We got one Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so pick a day. No. It doesn't go like that. Now, if we start going through these 4 steps on a daily basis, you should get into a process of knowing that if I invite on these couple days, and I know for sure I'm going to have this many people for Thursday night Zoom. You got to get into a cycle and maybe get with your upline, okay, and build from event to event to event to event. And that's one of the things, one of the arts that I've found with all the top incomers. They build from event to event to event, okay? Now let's just say that they were hemming and hawing a little bit. And sometimes, guys, not everybody's good for our business. Sometimes not everybody's good for our community either. You got to protect the house. Sometimes those negative Eeyores that are out there, they just need to be a customer. You know, sometimes you have to you have to just know who's right and who's, you know, who's not. If their energy's not there, if they're not giving you energy, if they're not excited about it, don't push anything on anybody, because you don't need anyone. You don't need one single person is not going to change your business. Okay. I've always had that mindset that not a single person in this world is going to change my business. So you have to truly understand what it is that we're sitting on. We are the second fastest growing company in network marketing right now, soon to be number one. Now, I want to just chat with you guys. This last part, I think, is really where I don't want to take credit for any of this. The reason why I've had the success that I've had in my career is because I've been good at edifying other people and putting people on the phone with other people. That is, if I say that I am really, really, really good at something, I'm really good at not being the expert. I am really, really, really good at, even though I can sit here and probably tell you Eric Worre's book verbatim, I've been to all the trainings, I've done the seminars, I've done all that stuff. Your prospect doesn't need to know that you're the expert. And you need to understand that that is, I believe, the biggest hindrance in someone's business is that they are trying to be the expert. Chris uses a perfect analogy. You know, we have Michael Jordans in our company, lots of them. I mean, lots of them. Judy, Ricky, we have, you know, Melissa, Luke. I can sit here and name 100 of them. Why would you want to talk to your prospects and be the expert when you got those people that can take all the shots for you? You know, I'm constantly putting people on the phone with someone else. Chat real quick about the importance of third party. Third party is the fourth step, right? We connect someone to a Facebook group. We connect someone to someone else via messenger, three-way phone call, however you do it, in person. However, you have got to stop being the expert and you've got to stop talking. The less you talk, the more money you will make. I promise you. At the very beginning of my career in network marketing, the one thing that I did for sure, and you got to realize the three-way phone call or the third party, however you're doing it, it's actually as much for you as it is for the prospect. I really like three-way phone calls and I like messenger. Okay. Now, I think if you understand that the three-way phone call is as much for you as it is your prospect, that's where I personally learned everything that I know about network marketing. Most of the skills that I've learned is by hearing someone else handle everything for me, doing all the heavy lifting for me. They did all the heavy lifting, right? I had people like Chris Schweda. You know, I've been doing Chris, 11, 12 years now. We're in another company together. I knew nothing about network marketing back then. All I knew is that Chris did. And all I knew is that I'd much rather Chris talk to my prospects than me, because I was going to screw it up anyway. So you got to get really good at edifying, okay? If you got good at anything, get really good at the edification process. I mean, making your people look like they walk on water, okay? So I would always suggest that any new person that's in this business, really anybody that's in this business, if you don't know and you haven't spoken to the 3 levels above you, be that person that reaches out and says, you know what, I'm going to go find who those people are and I'm going to introduce myself to them. And I want to know 3 points about each person, 3 points on their resume about them. That way I can properly edify them. You also want to have their phone numbers, because again, your sponsor may have quit the business. Your sponsor may not be here anymore. So you want to find the 3 people above you, 3 levels above you, that are really working the business and people that you aspire to be like, okay? And when you can, you know, for me personally, my first network marketing company, the Upline, and I see Brian Heflin's on here. Actually, Brian was in that first company. You know, I had some really, really amazing upline in that first company that truly, truly were making it happen at a high level. Some of them were out of that. They wrote the book, The Secret, if y'all remember the book, The Secret. So I was very fortunate very early on that I was that guy that was so hungry, and I knew that I didn't have the skill set. I knew that I didn't have the influence. And what you got to realize here, it's about influence. I'd much, much rather my people be talking to someone else, because I just knew at that stage of my life, I wasn't a success. I had the ambition. I had, you know, the work ethic. I just didn't have, none of my friends wanted to hear about an opportunity from me. I just didn't have the credibility with them. So one thing that I would highly suggest that you do is reach out upline and find out who are those 3 people above you that are really making it happen. And don't wait for them to call you. They want you to raise your hand and say, hey, I'm down here and I'm ready to run. And what I found is that Ricky's really good at digging down in his organization and finding who those people are. Not everybody's like that, guys. Not everybody's like that. But trust me, if Ricky ever got a phone call from you or somebody got a phone call from you and you're upline, now I'm not saying skip all those people. You definitely want to follow the chain of command. If your upline is doing work, then have them introduce you, okay? But there's nothing wrong with just reaching out and saying, hey, this is me, I'm here, I'm ready to roll. But you want to find 3 points about those people. That way, when you are putting them on the phone with someone else, then you can properly edify them you can properly edify them in front of your guests, okay? Never edify your guest to them. This is a psychological thing here. Another tip that I'm teaching you here. If you make your prospect out to be the important person on that phone call, then the prospect feels that they have all the power. But if you edify the upline and say, you know what, let me introduce you to my business partner. He's really, really an amazing guy. He's one of the top mindset coaches in the network marketing industry. This guy has, really built very, very substantial businesses. Just a truly servant leader. I'd love to introduce you to my business partner. He can answer those questions way better than I can. Way better than I can. Then when you put Chris on the phone with them, say, hey, Chris, this is Joey. And just say, you know what, Joey's in the real estate industry. Then at that point in time, your job is to mute your phone and be quiet. It's to mute your phone and be quiet. At that point in time, just mute your phone, do the introduction, mute your phone and be quiet. Trust me, what to do at that point is share a story. That's all we're trying to do. We're not here to close anybody. There's no 5-question closes. And I mean, I used to do that in other companies, but here in this company, you don't have to do that. That's why we're different. That's why we're growing faster than anybody else, is because we're not doing all of that other stuff anymore. We don't close people on a cup of coffee. It's not necessary to close people on coffee. But what I can tell you is that these little nuances right here are really important, because why would your prospect want to get on the phone with just some Joe Blow? They wouldn't. But if they knew that this person was making it happen at a very high level, then the chances of them getting on the phone with them were probably pretty high. Now, one of the things that's working for those of you that maybe might have challenges and have some confidence issues or maybe a little bit of fear associated with a 3-way phone call, hey, I get it. I was there at one point myself too. Utilize Messenger. Messenger works amazing, and especially with technology now and how many people are on Facebook, there's so many things that you can do out of Messenger. For example, I think I started at least 7 or 8 threads in the last 2 days between Chris and Judy. And it's simple. One of the things that I like is a voice clip. Okay. Sometimes it's voice clips, sometimes it's text, depending on the situation. Maybe your friend says, hey, Damien, what's the ingredients in that coffee? And you say, you know what? I don't know about that. Write this one down. I know Chris says this all the time. Write this down. Any question, anybody asks you about anything, say, I don't know about that. But all I do know is stuff makes me feel amazing. But my buddy Chris, my buddy Judy, my friend Judy, my friend Melissa, whoever it is you're working with, I know they can answer that way better than I can. Now, here's the part that I want you guys to add to that. And I know that by me asking them that question, it's also going to help me learn the answer to the question. So they feel like they're doing something for you also, right? So you're doing something for them, but they're doing something for you. Now, again, this is where you're going to learn how to answer these questions for your people. So then you put them in a little 3-way chat on Messenger, little voice clip. Hey, Chris, I got Judy over here, and Judy got a question about ingredients. If you wouldn't mind maybe addressing some of her questions, that'd be awesome, my man. And then, of course, Chris is going to say, hey, Judy, in a little voice clip, I'd love to answer your questions. Go ahead and fire away. And then we start the dialogue right there, right? You start the dialogue, and that's so easy to do nowadays with technology. Like Messenger, people are on it all day long. I know some people that don't get out of Messenger all day. That's how they work their business, strictly through Messenger. And at that point in time, once the rapport is built, then guess what? We can do the 3-way video chat right there. We can do the 3-way phone call right there from inside Messenger. You can do it on video or audio. So that's why I personally have been moving more to Messenger lately, is because of the amount of functionality inside of Messenger. Again, you just started off with a text, started off with a Messenger, and then, from there, conversation starts. We start engaging, and at some point in time say, hey, we'd love to just hop on a quick Zoom with you, quick video chat with you, and just connect with you a little bit further, if that'd be okay. And of course, most people are going to say yeah. Or just, if it's a lady and you're a guy, you might not want to do the video thing. You might just say, hey, I'd love to hop on a quick call with you real quick and, address those questions. Sometimes people get a little weird about video, to just be able to read the situation. But third party has been the key to my success in network marketing. And let me share with you why, guys. This is not about you. It's about what duplicates. That's the word, duplication. That duplicates. You answering all the questions, you being the expert, you being the person who's doing all the talking. Your friends are looking at you going, I don't want to do all that. I don't have the time to do all that. So by keeping it simple, using third party and super simple. The 4 steps, how much simpler can you get than that? It's not simple. It's not hard. That's super simple. The if I would you part, that's not hard. That's not a hard skill set to learn right there. Putting someone else on a messenger thread with someone else, that's not hard to do either. It's just a matter of how bad do you really want this? So at the end of the day, I always tell people 3 people a day is what you want to run through these steps. Now, I'm not sure what your sponsor tells you or your upline tells you, but to me, that's a bare minimum that I think that anybody that has a job, to run 3 people through those steps can probably take, I would say max 30 minutes if you really focus on it. And what I do is I set windows of time, and maybe you just do 2 15-minute windows throughout the day. You take your energy during that 15 minutes. If you have a child, get up 15 minutes earlier and put that 15 minutes of targeted effort into your business. You'd be surprised what you can get done in 15 minutes. You'd be surprised what you can do in little small increments. I know on our team, we've prospected like 500 people in 15 minutes at one point, just a few of us, and targeted effort. So just to recap, guys, the 3-way phone call, edify, turn over the call, mute out your line, okay? Then once you do that, they're just going to share a story. And at the very end, when they're finished talking, this is critical right here. The speaker, or whoever it is that is doing the phone call for you, is going to edify you back to your prospect. This is so important here, okay? This is so important here. So we put them on the phone with the expert, right? The expert answered the question, addressed whatever need they had, shared story. Usually, all we're going to do is share a story that's going to answer their question. At the end of the day, guys, that's what we're doing here, sharing stories. So then the second part is the third part, second part's mute out. Third part is when they're done talking, then what you're going to do at that point in time is then say, you know what? You're so lucky to be working with such and such. I love their ambition. They really want to make this work. I did their welcome call. I know why they're doing this business. So you're in the right place, the right time with the right people, or whatever you want to say at that point. But you have to give that edification back to the person that invited the prospect to the phone. Okay. That's super, super, super important right there. Because then it lets them know that they're supported, they're respected, and that they're working with the right person. And it helps build that confidence that, you know what, I know I can do this. Because at the end of the day, guys, a lot of people come into these businesses and their belief just isn't there, right? And they're looking to borrow your belief. That's why it's so important that, it's so important that you believe in people when they don't believe in themselves. You show them that they can do this business. And I see there's a couple of my team members here on the call right now that when they first started, they didn't really have the belief. They borrowed my belief. And guess what? Their belief's here now. Their belief's here now. If you've seen the person that I'm actually talking about, she's glowing. Bobby, I'm talking about you. Bobby's full of energy now. When she first came into this business, her belief was like this. And she borrowed my belief. And now her belief is through the roof because the products changed her life. So be that person for someone else. At the end of the day, guys, belief times action equals results. B times A equals R. Your belief times your action that you take will be the results that you get. So I know I threw a lot at you tonight. I know I did. I'm just going to recap it. Ladder of escalation, the 4 steps. Okay. It's just the sales process. If you're not getting people 5 to 7 touches, and a touch could be a follow-up call, could be adding them to the group, it could be a sample, could be a link, could be whatever. You're looking for 5 to 7 touches on each person. Okay. And a touch could just be, a simple text message. Hey, I'm just curious to get your feedback on the product. Keep the conversation going. Then when you're inviting, if I would you, right? If I send you a sample, would you try it? If I gave you a link, would you watch it? Okay, great. When do you think you could watch that 3-minute video? I'll watch it today. All right, perfect. I'll call you back in 5 minutes. Could you go watch it right now? Yeah, I'll watch it right now. Okay, great. Is this the best phone number to reach you at? Then there's nothing left to chance there. They know you're calling them back. That's the way a professional does this, guys, and moves people through the steps. The last part is the 3-way phone call that I really, 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 really think that anybody can do this business because of third party. You don't really have to be an expert at much. All you have to do is be excited and have a testimonial. If you could just be excited about this product and this company, which I would think that we have a lot to be excited about here. I mean, don't you think so, Judy? We have a lot to be excited about. And I'm sure in the next 30 or so days, everybody's going to find out how much more excited we're about to be with the new products coming out. I'm really super excited about that. But hopefully you guys got some value out of tonight. Trust me on this. Get out of the way of your own business. Get out of the way of your success and allow someone else to be the expert. When you start putting people on the phone, trust me, that's where you're going to learn how to do this stuff. And I had to get out of the way of my success. I wanted to do I'm a type A male. So I wanted to do all the talking. I wanted to tell my friends about everything. And when you're telling, trust me, you're not selling. When you share stories, sell. And that's all we're looking to do is share some stories with your people. We're not looking to close them. We're not looking to do anything crazy with them. We just want to share a story with them on how this product and company's impacted our lives. So hopefully you guys got some value out of tonight. My name's Damien Callais, coming to you today from Oklahoma City.
Woohoo!
Sorry,
Awesome.
I had to think about it for a second, but hopefully you guys got some value out of this training. I honestly, Judy, I've been so busy today. I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to stress myself out. I wrote my notes like 5 minutes before.
That's awesome. I mean, you would never know that, Damien. And I love the training that you did, really, because when you really look at what we do in a whole, is the keeping it more simple is easier. Keeping it very simple is duplicatable, like you said. And I love the analogy, or the acronym you used for BAR. BAR is your belief and your actions create the results. I love that. How much more simple could that be?
I'm going to give you one more acronym. I'm sure everybody's heard this one. It's KISS. Keep it simple, silly.
I love that one.
Simple. I'm telling you, guys, right now, simplicity wins in network marketing. Simplicity wins because simplicity duplicates.
Right.
Let me just end with this. In my previous company, which was a CBD company, I had to get up there and educate people on this new system that was discovered in the body, right? And then I had to teach them on how CBD interacted with all these receptor sites. And, our business did close to, $500,000 a month over there, but it was hard. And the average person couldn't do what I did. They couldn't do the presentations. They couldn't go city to city, state to state, house to house, and do the things that I was doing. We've got it so easy here. If this is your first network marketing company, you are, really, I mean, Judy was saying this the other day to somebody that I know, it's to my girlfriend, actually, Jenna. She was saying that because Jenna just decided to partner with us in the business. I didn't want to push it on Jenna, but she just decided to do this business. And, she's known some of the companies that I've been in, some of the things that they've taught us. And, it's just, we've got it made here, guys. Take action. Seriously, take action right now. If you look at what's going on with Ricky and Chris and their 3-year stories of the success that they've accomplished, it's not about what they've accomplished. It's just that it's available for all of us. It really is available for all of us. These are not some stories that are made up. I know Chris Schweda personally. He didn't have an air conditioner in his house. He had a bone infection. All that stuff is legitimately the truth. You just got to be naive enough to believe that if it can happen to Chris and if it can happen to these other people, then it can happen to you. All you got to do is get out of your own way. Believe big. It doesn't cost anything to believe big.
Absolutely. Awesome. Woo! That was fabulous. Well, thank you so much, Damien. I got lots of value. I mean, I wrote lots of notes too. I loved all the simple. And you said it right, connect. Three-way phone calls are so important, as we know it validates what you're saying to that person, but it also shows somebody how simple it can be to get started. And that is the key, you guys. You have to get started to create the belief and the action, which equals the result. So I hope that
I'm gonna take a selfie before you end real quick. I'm taking a selfie with everybody real quick.
All right. Woo!
All right.
All right. Everybody, let's give Damien a big round of applause, and let's thank him for sharing with us tonight on Take Action Thursday.
Thank you, Damien.
Thank you.
Thank you, Damien.
Well done, Damien.
Good night. Much love. God bless.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Damien. Love ya. Bye, everybody. Good night.
Bye.
See you,
Judy.
Bye.
Good night,
everyone.